welcome to the Mad About You podcast. This is a knitting podcast, mostly knitting, and I'm the host, Madeline, and I want to say thanks for being here today and watching this episode. It's been a while since I've recorded, and I think since you've seen a video from me. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in. I've got a finished object to share, a new whip that I've started and one that I'm about to start. And I'm coming to you from my home in Canberra, Australian Capital Territory, which is in Australia, funnily enough. So yeah, let's get on with the show. So I guess we'll talk about finished objects, which I finally have one. So this here is my Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli, and it is a shawl that I knit over the last 6 months or so. Started it back in September, and it was by Joji Locatelli, and the yarn I used was Huloco in her Glitz sock base, and I think it was I feel like it's the big sister set, so it's a pretty massive shawl actually, and I have washed and blocked it. I finished it about a week ago. Washed, blocked, the ends are woven in, and I haven't taken final measurements, but it is pretty massive. So yeah, I'm not gonna say I loved knitting it because that would be a lie. I did like it to begin with, but by the end of that last lot of short rows, that grey that you can see there, that was just kind of the death of me, to be honest. It was really long and tedious, so I'm glad it's finished. I quite like how the colors work together. I was really nervous, like I just didn't think that the grey was going to show up enough, particularly in the eyelet sections, which now that I put it on you probably can't really see, but the contrast isn't too bad, and I think it's just that really nice speckle that's come out. So this is the second Joji shawl I've knit in the Huloco sock set. The first one was the girl from the grocery store, which I feel like I may have shown on here before, but it was definitely finished before I had this channel. So yeah, I don't know if I've shown it before, but it's got a gold stellina through it, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but yeah, the pattern isn't difficult at all, and I put some Ravelry notes on my Ravelry page, as I usually do, and so yeah, if you're interested you can see that. I will put in there how much I have left of this grey. I haven't weighed it yet, but I have this much left. Actually, you know what, I can probably just pop it on the scales quickly now. 20 grams exactly left. So I used up one full skein of the main color. I think I had maybe like a gram left. It really wasn't that much. And 20 grams of this. So the pattern actually, when you read it, says that you'll probably need 2 skeins of the first color, and I didn't, but it was pretty close. I was definitely playing yarn chicken at that time, but obviously managed to finish without it, which was good. So yeah, I'm really happy that it's finally done and off the needles, and yeah, it's called Pure Joy. I started it when I went on my European holiday last year, and it was supposed to be a nice meditative piece that was an opportunity for me to meditate, reflect or whatnot, and I did for most of it, and then I got towards the end and I was just like, I just need this shit done. So anyway, it's finished, which is nice. I'm really happy. So yeah, that's the only finished object I have, but Knitting Mojo is on its way back, which is good. Just seen something that I want to show you guys later, so I'll have to go pause and pick that up. Anyway, so yeah, works in progress. So I guess next onto works in progress. So I cast on recently this, it's another Joji Locatelli pattern. It's called the 3-color Cashmere Cow, and I feel like I've talked about this yarn combination before, but I may not have. So it's Cascade yarn, and it's Three colors that I bought maybe 2 or 3 years ago at the Canberra Celebration of Wool, and I bought it initially for a snow day shawl by Mina Phillip, or the Knitting Expat, and then I'm trying to knit through stash this year. So I had bought 3 skeins to make this shawl on my trip from Loop London, but then I looked at the pattern just before I bought it, and it needed significantly less, like a 50 gram skein each, and these are 50 grams. So it's Cascade yarns, 220 fingering. And so this is the mint colorway, which doesn't actually have a color name, it just has a lot number. So it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool, 50 grams, 237 yards, or 250 meters, which should be more than enough. So I started with this color, I'll move on to the gray, and then my big like block feature color will be this pink here. And so yeah, I'm just finished the ribbing, and I'm on to the beginning of the actual pattern section now, which is really nice. I think it'll be an enjoyable knit, but like I said, I've only done the ribbing and I don't really enjoy that, so it only took me maybe an hour to do a few rows of ribbing. It's paper pattern, so I don't really want to talk about it too much. And I'm knitting this on my ChiaoGoo interchangeables, 14-inch needles in a size 3.5, and it was supposed to be a size 3 needle, I think, so I don't know why I've gone bigger, but we'll see how that goes, and I think I'll have enough to be able to finish. I should do, definitely. The cowl is like 26 inches circumference and about 20.5 inches in length, so it should be about this big, and it'll just like sit really nice and cozy. I don't have a picture because I bought the pattern and I'm using Knit Companion on my phone, which is what I'm currently recording on, so I can't really show you that, and I haven't printed it. So yeah, I like my ChiaoGoo interchangeable needles. I feel like I've talked about them before, and I've occasionally had to buy extra cords, like the last time I made, or when I made the starting point by Hohi, I did both pieces kind of at the same time, so not like obviously at the same time, but one off. I do one section on one, then do one section on the other half, and then when it was time to put them all together, it was kind of all ready to go. I think I really explained that poorly, but anyway, so that's that project. I just needed a palette cleanser because it had been really, yeah, my knitting mojo had disappeared, like I've said a few times, and I'm really looking for it to come back. So that was my palette cleanser that I've just started, and also like this shawl was, it just took so much time. I've also got a jumper that's on the go, my weekender, which I think I showed last time. I haven't gotten back into knitting that yet, but I feel like it's starting to cool off a little bit. Not really, like yesterday, a couple days ago, it was still like 34 degrees or something, but yesterday was about 24 degrees or that. So yeah, as we move into March, the temperature's really cooling down, which is nice. That's why I like living in Canberra, because we get all 4 seasons, as opposed to where I grew up, where it's they get a winter, but it's not like here. So yeah, it's a good excuse to wear all my knitwear. Excuse me. So it's my only current whip. I guess my future plans, which I have ready to show you in my Hedgehog Fibers clear bag. I will take the yarn out so you can see better, but I'm thinking I've got 2 patterns in mind. I pulled this out for a What the Fade, which is an Andrea Mowry brioche and Garter stitch massive shawl, probably like a schlanket, like a shawl blanket. So I pulled these colors out of my stash. Like I said, I'm trying to knit from stash this year, and I made this fade and I really like it. I'd like to do some brioche again, but more a simple brioche than the sizzle pop that I started that I haven't managed to get, well, I pulled it out and I haven't gone back to. So this fade is made up of 2 knit picks. So this is Knit Picks Hawthorn Fingering. It's a tonal hand paint, and this color is, it says Eugene tonal, and this one is Arlita. Then there's a Madeline Tosh, which I bought in a D-stash. This is Cold Shoulder, and it's the Euro sock. And then the next two, the other one is another Knit Picks Hawthorn Tonal, Hawthorn Fingering in Kerns. And then this last one here is a Woolen Vine in the Footsie base, and it's Tiptoe. And I got this in a Fibre Share yarn swap package maybe last year, I think. Oh, the year before, 2018. I didn't do any. So this is the current fade I'm thinking. The pattern calls for 6 skeins, but whilst I could probably like find a 6 skein in here, like this one is a bit too speckled, I think, and there's this one here, but I feel like it's a little bit too similar to the Woolen Vine Footsie. So, you know, I could probably actually substitute the Footsie for this one. But the Footsie has like this green speckled undertone sort of thing, which this also has a bit of a green base, which you think would be a little bit surprising, but yeah, so it'll be one of those two now that I've looked at that. And I think they're too similar to fade them into each other. That's just not going to work if I wanted to use 6. And I really wouldn't mind using this cream here, but I feel it just doesn't have the same tone to the other colors. But I'm really loving having this wall. I can just sit here and pick out colors and be like, yes, they work, no, they don't, and then put them back. Like, that's going to be a pair of socks, I'm fairly sure. So anyway, that's my sock wall, which I'm already showing you about. And then also I'm going to fade it or hold with this mohair. So it's Knit Picks Aloft in the colorway Blush and Penny Royal. So this will blend with the, I'm going to hold it double with like the purple colors, and then this one with the pinks or the lighter ones. And I think just because the pattern calls for sport weight, which I don't have. This is a lace weight, so like a 2-ply, and I've got a 4. So with the fingering, I think it'll just bulk that up a little bit, and it should make it really soft to touch. And I've just kind of been thinking of ways to blend those in. So it's 260 yards, and this one is the same. So I don't know if I'll use all of them, but I do plan on holding it double. And then, so like I said, probably a What the Fade by Andrea Mowry. But I was also thinking, because Vertices Unite has been on my list to make for a long time, that maybe I could use those colors and do that, and make just like a really similar pink shawl. I don't know, a friend of mine suggested we do the fade, or that I do the fade, because they do fade so well into each other. So I think I might wind them up, and that'll be my next big project. I think I'm trying to knit from stash and knit from patterns that I have in my Ravelry library. And my Ravelry library, I do not have What the Fade, but obviously all the yarn's coming from stash, so I feel like that's a good one. I didn't have the 3-color Cashmere Cowl, but I had 2 lots of yarn that were perfect for that particular project, so I don't feel so bad on buying patterns, but I'm going to try this year and find patterns I already own and then knit those from the stuff I have here. So yeah, that's my plan. We'll see how that actually goes in execution. I'm not entirely sure how it will work, but yeah, that's my plan. That's what I'm hoping for. Also, like, I haven't really knit other than to finish this shawl in ages, because the mojo's not back 100% yet. But anyway, my next thing, which I think I talked about before, is my granny stripe blanket that I really want to make. So I was hoping to have cast on, it's a crochet blanket before doing this episode, but that hasn't happened yet. So it just smells like eucalyptus, this whole bucket, like eucalyptus, lavender, or natural. No, I think lavender, because I use lavender at home. So I'm going to do the Crochet Granny Square, which is a pattern by Addict24. It's made for DK weight yarn, but a lot of people have adapted it for fingering weight. So I'm going to use the Chelsea knits from the Chelsea and Sue, what are they? Legacy Fibre Arts podcast. So Chelsea Knits has notes on her Ravelry page about her blanket, so I'm going to do that. and I was kind of, my plan is to just like start with a color and then just pick the next one out of the bucket. And if it doesn't work, it's not going to matter completely, but I don't know how many I've got. Like I probably wouldn't pair those two together, but this green would go really nicely next to a pink, which would probably go, like maybe not put those two together, but you know, if you can put in like the mint. Yeah, it's not a piece like in your house to look super pretty, it's just a way to use up these minis. So these are minis that I bought that are specifically minis, except that, which is some scraps. And then there's some other scraps in the bottom here too, and by scraps I mean they're about 10 grams each. So that's some Circus Tonic handmade, that's leftovers from my girl in the grocery store. Actually the top one is, the bottom one, that one is. So I'm in two minds, and if you've got any thoughts, let me know in a comment down the bottom. Do I decide on my order for all of these and then make the magic ball and just do it that way? Or do I just cast on and work till I've got no more of the 10 grams and then weave and then like start the next color? I haven't really looked into how people do this too much, but I do know that when I cast on, I'm going to do the foundation chain, which back when I used to crochet a lot, it's heaps easier than if you just do all the chains and then have to go back into it again. There is a way that you can do it, and once I do it, I'll link to the tutorial I've got saved on my computer somewhere, I'll have to find it, that you basically make the first or the foundation row in one go. So it's super handy. So yeah, hopefully next time I record an episode, I'll have cast this on one of these as well. Oh, I scratched my shelf with that by dragging that over. That's interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much it for everything that I've been working on and what I'm hoping to do in the future. There was something else I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember. I haven't uploaded the last video because I haven't had any internet at my house. So I guess let's move into what's been happening. So I moved apartments, which you should all know, or most people know. And I applied for internet with one company the day I arrived. I'm back in Australia, and then I was picking up the keys to this apartment that day. And it's a company that I've used last time I lived in this city, the one I lived in last, like in Sydney. And I was just like, look, I want to reconnect my account. I didn't even research, which is so not like me, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna go with this particular company. So anyway, I was like, well, I'm here for 12 months. I'll sign up on a contract, easy days, which I don't usually do. If I can find someone that's month to month, because I travel so much, I prefer to do that. But anyway, I went with this contract. And then it takes them 2 weeks to book in a technician to come to my house. I don't need a new modem because I've already used them before and I've got one from my last place. So I wait, and the technician turns up, and at my apartment he's like, so you're not wired for Telstra, and Telstra is our national provider for internet, phone or whatever. Like they're the main company in Australia. It's a new apartment building I moved into. I'm the first tenant in this particular place, and it's only been open. So anyway, I say to them, he's like, look, it's wired for X particular other company, not like a massive telco, but wired for them. And the building I live in is like half hotel, half residences. So yeah, I call the corporate, the strata manager, who's like in charge of our place, and he's like, look, I'm really working to get NBN, which is a national broadband. And I was like, well, can you give me a time frame? And he's like, there's a lot of I'm like, and he's like, anyway, he says, oh, no, I don't really know. It could be 1 month, it could be 3 months. So call the provider and say, look, I need to cancel my contract. You can't move into my building. You're not wired for it. And apparently 5 technicians from Telstra have come and said that. So despite them saying, oh yeah, we can connect you to your building, they couldn't. So that was really annoying. And also I'm not at work this particular week. It was my last week of leave, so I wanted everything sorted so I don't have to take any time off once I start my new job. Anyway, go back and forth. She's like, no, I don't want to. No, look, can we look at another solution? And I said, look, you've got till Wednesday or something. I think this was Tuesday. So like, yeah, you've got 24 hours, see what you can do. Anyway, another man calls me back. He's like, I can get you NBN. There's 2 people in your property or in your building that do have it. I was like, okay, sick. Let's do that then. So I just changed my contract from ADSL2 to NBN. And he gets me to send him all this stuff, which I thought was a little bit strange. But anyway, I did it. And I heard nothing for 7 days. And then I call back. I'm just at my wit's end because I need internet, because I want to watch Netflix and upload to YouTube and watch knitting podcasts and just have a life where I can connect to the internet. So he's, you know, their response on the phone is, oh, we're waiting for you to agree on a time for a technician's appointment. And so I just said to the lady, I'm like, look, this is ridiculous. I haven't been advised of a technician's appointment. She's like, oh no, you've asked to reschedule. And I said, yeah, I asked to reschedule on the whatever of January, and we're now in February. This is crap. I want to cancel my contract. And so eventually she does let me cancel my contract. So that day I sign up with a company who has a really good deal and who also is already connected to my building. Now I thought that would speed things up, but apparently it doesn't. So the modem, I have to buy a new modem. That arrived within 3 days. I set that up, but now I have to wait for a technician's appointment. And they assigned me one on Tuesday, but I'm at work all day in a conference Tuesday and Wednesday. So I said, look, can you do anything on Monday? And they said, no, the earliest is Thursday. Today is Sunday, and yeah, so by the time you see this, I will have internet, because I'll upload the last episode that I've recorded, so they might be a week apart. Yeah, so I'm immensely frustrated that this has happened, but you know what, it does serve me right for not researching. For the one time in my life, I decided not to plan anything and just go with what I know and I'm comfortable with, and then I've stuffed it up essentially. And I've lived here nearly 6 weeks and I still do not have internet. So yeah, that's my rant. That's the biggest, baddest thing that's happening in my life so far. So that's a bonus. And yeah, it was my birthday this week. So usually I have I get yarn, I buy myself yarn or do whatever, but because I'm on my yarn hiatus, I did not. But I had a really lovely friend throw me a birthday party. We went out for dinner. I invited some girlfriends and another male friend. His wife was one of my girlfriends who came, and they brought their kid, and we just had a really lovely dinner. It was so nice to catch up with all these people that I haven't seen in a long time. And now that I'm back here, so that was awesome. And it was kind of just quite low-key, but the people who were really important to me sent me messages and called me, and it was lovely. I really had a great day. So yeah, then after that I remembered that I've got a gift voucher that that I got last Christmas before last, I think it was Christmas, and I packed it away when I put all my stuff in storage. So I pulled that out. So I'm gonna have a look online. It's for O-Wool, I think, or like Eco Yarns, which is an Australian company that they sell O-Wool. So I'm gonna look into that and hopefully spend that voucher. I don't want to like spend it for the sake of spending it, but I do have an idea of what I want to make, which is a magnolia cardigan. And my plan was to look for yarn for that at one of the festivals that I'll go to this year. But I could also get it from this website, and I think it's a bonus because I've not actually had to pay for it, but I got it, so that's good. And I'm not spending money on yarn because I don't want to spend money. It's more that I have this abundant stash. Like, this is just 4-ply and a bit of 8-ply here, and then there's a whole heap down here which you can't see. That is like 8-ply fingering, and then behind me in this corner over here is sock yarn. So yeah, it's because I have an abundance, not that I don't want to support local. Also, two of my friends, also, comma pause, 2 of my favourite Australian dyes are no longer dyeing, so that's really sad. And I do have one skein of one of them whose yarn I might do in a giveaway, but I'm going to wait to see what my Faber share partner wants, and if their colour is in their colour wheel, in their like colour wheel or preferences, I'll probably send it to them. If not, wait out for a giveaway possibly. So yeah, I guess last topic, Fibre share. So this will be too late. Fibre share signups have closed by the time this comes out, but I signed up again this year. I did it in 2017 and 2018. I had last year off, and then this year I'm back in. I think they're gonna do 2 shares this year, so I'll, I guess, talk through my Fibre share journey for the first one, and then we'll see, maybe I'll do it in the second half of the year, not sure. But yeah, it's really great. I've asked for an international swap partner, but one time I did that, I got a domestic, so it depends. Yeah, it's a great way to meet new people, try new yarns or things that are new to you. So highly encourage the fibre share experience if you can, I guess, afford it. It's not super cheap, it's also not super expensive, but yeah, I guess I've blubbered on enough for now. Yeah, thank you for watching. I keep forgetting to say this in the beginning, but on Ravelry my username is Madbell, and on Instagram I'm mad.about.you. I'll put them both up on the screen or down here somewhere, and they'll be in the description box below. Yeah, thank you for sticking around. I'm hoping to make this like a once a month thing, if not more, but I don't know how quickly I'm going to knit through things or have stuff to talk about, but I will definitely make a point of at least once a month hopping on here to say something small, until this no longer brings me joy, or until other people are still not enjoying it. I think I said before, and if I didn't, well, news. I did think about stopping this last year because I didn't really post at all because I was super busy and not in the country. But a few people said to me, hey, we really like having an Aussie little podcast, see what you're up to. So I guess while there's still an appetite and it's still not too much work for me, I'll keep going, but I will be going back to uni in July, part-time and working full-time. So my knitting obviously is gonna stop. Yeah, I think that's all for now. Thank you so much for listening to me dribble on for half an hour. Have a lovely, lovely week, and until we see each other again, happy knitting, happy crafting. See you soon. Bye.